This broadcast is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Hello, baseball fans. You're watching On Deck with Tyler Redmond.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining. Really do appreciate it. Coming to you a little bit early today. That is because we are with our friends over at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC here at 600 Columbus Parkway in Opelika. And they are hammering down high prices again this month. Giant inventory, over 500 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way. They're a great place to buy a vehicle. I would encourage you so much. And they've been a great partner here at Braves on Deck as well. So we have a lot to discuss today, and what a time to do this broadcast, because literally this morning most of you probably woke up to the news that Chris Sale signed an extension with the Atlanta Braves early this morning, a one-year $27 million extension with a club option for $30 million in 2028. So number one, I think this move makes all the sense in the world. I don't think there are very many people that would disagree with that. I think this move was kind of expected and hoped for by most Atlanta Braves fans. Sale has been excellent in his tenure with the Braves. Obviously, there is concern as he gets closer to the age of 40 what he'll look like on the mound, but as of right now, there's no reason to speculate anything other than he'll be one of the best arms in baseball, at least for the time being. I also think this kind of shores up the rotation to some degree as we look ahead. There are still some questions, I think, even for this season with the back end of the rotation and that kind of thing, but this will at least give you the opportunity to obviously have him next season, and maybe even if you'd like to have him for $30 million in 2028. The rotation, again, is obviously of concern. We've talked about it quite extensively here on the channel, especially after the Spencer Schwellenbach news and after he hit the injured list. I believe the rotation is one of the biggest concerns, if not the only concern really, on this team. I think the bullpen is solid. I think the lineup will play as expected. Could always be better, but it will play as we intend it to, and I think the rotation is really what is going to come down to if this team will be a winner or not. We also got some things notable out of spring training. A lot of guys hitting homers. The Braves are currently 4-0 in spring training, which is a nice change of pace than where we were last year. Yastrzemski has homered. Olsen had a big homer today. Jorge Mateo homered. Drake Baldwin homered. He's also, I think, got 5 total bases. I think he's close to leading the team. There's a lot to be excited about, but as excited as I am with the 4 straight wins, and just real quick, 5-1, 8-1, 10-7, 8-1. We're scoring runs. That's plenty of reason to be excited with this lineup. They have not played a National League team yet. They'll do that tomorrow when they take on, I believe, is it the Pirates? I believe that's tomorrow. But we'll have to see how that goes. But they are scoring runs, but the pitching has been pretty consistent. Not that we've seen a ton of guys go deep. Most guys are throwing 2 innings apiece. We saw both Grant Holmes and Reynaldo Lopez do that earlier today. They both threw 2 scoreless innings apiece. We've also seen J.R. Ritchie do that. Carlos Carrasco tossed 2 scoreless innings. One thing I also wanted to add in the case of Holmes and Lopez, velo does not seem to be a concern. We've seen that reporting from spring training. They're looking around the mid-90s, which is as expected for them. That's pretty average for where they're supposed to be. But I do question the durability. We talked about that a little bit last week. I do question a little bit with the durability. I could be worried about nothing. We'll have to see how that goes. But I do believe there is reason thank you. Sorry about that, Jake Hobby. We lost to the Twins 8-1. Apologize for that. I read that backwards. Anyway, yeah, so I do believe that there are reasons to be concerned about Holmes and Lopez. I hope that there's no reason to be concerned. I still think the Braves could add a piece to the rotation prior to this season starting. And I hope that'll be the case. I'm sure they're still working the trade market. I think shoring up Sale does help us, but I would also like to see us add on. There's one other guy that has kind of drawn my interest in the early part of this season, really since we signed him back in December, James Karinchak, who we discussed earlier this year in a press outing with Alex Anthopoulos. on Zoom. I asked him about Karinchak a while back. That's on the channel if you're looking for it. But I asked him about Karinchak. He gave his thoughts. High-end possibility, low risk, and that's exactly how I feel about it. I think Karinchak could be really solid for the Braves, virtually no cost to us, and he looks good so far. I think he's a very overlooked arm in the pen, and he could be a really big part of it as we move in the latter months of the season. Again, under-the-radar move by Alex Anthopoulos could turn out to be really great, could turn out to be, a waste of time. Right now, I'm leaning more towards the positive. I really think Karinchak could be solid for the Braves and really could show out as the season progresses if given the opportunity. Again, we've had some other guys pop out and show what they can do. J.R. Ritchie is one that I'm pretty familiar with down here in Columbus, in the Columbus area. J.R. Ritchie's been solid here, and we'll have to see how that goes. But he's been solid in spring training too, and I really think that is a guy who, again, I've said it before, carries himself like a professional on the mound, carries himself like a professional off the mound. I think he's a guy that could be really good for us in the future, if not sooner rather than later. Carlos Carrasco is a guy that could see time in the major leagues at the rate we're going with the rotation the way it stands. You kind of hope you never have to go that deep in the bag, but it could happen. The fact that he tossed 2 scoreless today is encouraging, but I need to see some more out of him before I believe that he is a possibility for the rotation, and not because he can't do it, just because he had an ERA north of 6 last season in the minors. So I'm just a little hesitant to do that. The Braves are playing the Pirates tomorrow, and they're facing off against Paul Skeens. So we've had a lot of offense so far in spring training. We'll have to see if they can continue that against Paul Skeens. That will be fun to watch. I'm looking forward to it. And, of course, there's plenty to talk about. Again, guys, we are here at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in the showroom bringing this live broadcast. They have been a great partner of ours as we have grown on the channel and continue to be a great partner with us as we continue to grow, and really happy to be here in the showroom bringing you guys live Braves coverage. If you would like the video, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications. Also, go check out Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. If you're looking for a new vehicle, a lot of people make the drive from all over the country to this place to find great deals, and I'm sure you can find one, especially if you live in the Southeast. You might as well give it a peek. They do really have great deals, and they're constantly lowering down high prices. So I really would encourage you to check them out. And again, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so that you can stay up to date with everything going on here at On Deck. We have plenty more to talk about. When we come back, we're going to talk about Braves vision and what that means for the fans. Stay with us. That's coming up next.
Big things are happening at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika.
Chevy Silverado and Traverse are ready for your driveway. Drive home today a full-size powerhouse Chevy Silverado with up to $13,000 off. Or get a loaded Traverse, the roomy Chevy SUV with third-row seating, and enjoy up to $6,500 off.
Buy today and you won't pay till May.
Smart people from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Online 24/7 at glennsmith.com.
Get ready to smile.
And welcome back, guys. Again, appreciate you joining the YouTube live stream. Always appreciate you doing that. Again, a ton of news out of spring training. Some of the biggest news has nothing to do with the actual game of baseball, more so how to watch the game of baseball. Right now, the Braves have been in conversations with FanDuel. Obviously, that didn't pan out. We knew that the Braves were going to take a different direction. They put out that press release, I think, a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. We're all wondering, okay, what's this going to mean media-wise? And it means that they're going to have their own platform, Braves Vision, which is pretty interesting for a lot of different reasons. I wasn't really caught off guard by it. I was surprised, to be honest with you, that they hadn't done it yet. Braves Vision is very similar to what the Yankees do. It's very similar to what some other teams do around Major League Baseball, and could very well help them financially, grow the organization. And look, I know that the Braves have been criticized over the years for not spending on the team and spending on real estate or other ventures. But here's the thing. They did that when they got the Battery and when they got Truist Park the way it is now. They did that because they wanted to reinvest in their own product. At Turner Field, the Braves didn't have that, right? Well, you move out to Truist Park, you get to basically own all of that and continually make money off of that investment. And they're doing the same thing here in a digital space, which I find very interesting. I think it's a great move by the team. And to be honest with you, if it makes games more accessible to you, to me, no reason to complain about it. I think the thing is going to be great. Obviously, as we move on in the early stages, with any new platform, even Netflix has battled some issues over the time. If anybody remembers the Tyson-Jake Paul fight, you know what I'm talking about. So there may be issues early on, but I really think this is going to be a net positive for the Braves to have their own network, to be able to sell advertising directly, to be able to make money directly off of this platform is going to be really good for the organization. And I also think it could help them, get to those fans that the TV deals don't always get to. And the Braves are a unique fan base, much like the Yankees, much like even the Dodgers. Their fan base is kind of national. It's not so much a regional fan base like Cincinnati may be, right? Like Cincinnati may have fans outside of Cincinnati and Ohio, but the Braves are a national team, right? Thanks to TBS, thanks to those old days. And I honestly think this is going to make it far more accessible for when we get to that point, for fans all across the country to get the product. And I think that's one of the motivations, and I think obviously the financial benefit is one of the benefits as well. And look, I'd be lying to you if I told you that I didn't think all of Major League Baseball should follow this format if they could. And I think more will. I think more teams are going to get tired of dealing with what the Braves have dealt with and negotiations, and you might as well do it. And the way streaming, the way media is changing, and it's changing at a rapid rate, exponential rate. I think more teams are going to do this, and I think the Braves are making a step towards the future. I like it a lot, and I think this is a great decision. And I think it will make it far more accessible for you guys and for me and for every Braves fan or anybody that just wants to watch the Braves. I've always said that you should just be able to buy an MLB package and get every game that the season has to offer from spring training until the end of the year, until the World Series. It should be easy to... Honestly, if you want to make a game hard to watch, if you want to make a game behind a paywall, that should be the playoffs. It shouldn't be the regular season. It should be easy to watch the regular season because as much as they want to sell tickets, you got to have fan engagement. And I think if you remove the game from televisions and you remove the game from the eyes of the viewer, it's going to make baseball itself fall apart. And I really do believe that this is a great thing that the Braves are doing. And I think it is going to put the game back into the hands of the fans in a lot of ways. And I think it's a great move by the Atlanta Braves organization. We got a couple of comments about Braves vision. The Battery says, our TV deal was so bad previously that I hardly think it matters what the new deal is. It will be an improvement. I don't disagree, and I was never the biggest fan of FanDuel. I liked Bally okay, just from a broadcast perspective. To me, it doesn't get any better than Fox Sports back in the day. That was the real winner, in my opinion. And before me, people will say TBS. So TV deals are what they are. They're going to change as time goes on. But what I see with all of what is going on, I see where we're going to get to a point where you're going to be able to do what you do with every other sport, and that's watch whatever game you want to watch, no matter what plan you have, or no matter, if you want to pay a little more to get more games, you can. I think that's how it should be. It should not be that we're dealing with blackouts. It should not be that baseball fans in general are dealing with that. And I think Rob Manfred and baseball know that is a problem, but it is what it is. Mass Boost, I know they're different. I know they're the same thing. Rather, what I mean is from the broadcast perspective, they were different. The way they broadcasted games was slightly different. Bally, I liked it slightly better, but not really. I really like where we are headed, though. The battery says, when the TV guys went into bankruptcy court and asked to change every contract except the Braves, that was a bad sign. Well, the Braves was the only one making the money, I believe, and they were the ones that were really doing well. Personally, I really think at where we're at right now, Braves Vision is going to be so much better than what we've had. I hope that and I assume they will, they'll keep the broadcast crew and all of that. I mean, obviously, that's up in the air right now in any real thing like this. But I'd be surprised if they didn't because they are so beloved. It would make a ton of sense to replace Brandon Gowden and C.J. Nikowski and Wiley Ballard. I don't think that'll happen. I think that would be foolish, to be honest with you. But I do think that we're in a good spot, and I think Braves Vision, if I'm not mistaken, it's a streaming platform, which means there will also be content directed at Braves fans, which means like when you go to Netflix, right, you can watch live. You can also watch video on demand. I imagine they will also start producing their own content, which is really good. It's going to give you more stuff to watch directly related to your fandom, right? Whether that be the Braves in the future, if it's the Cubs or whoever it may be, join and do their own kind of deal. Do their own platform rather, then they can do the same thing. It's going to give opportunities for more content that wouldn't otherwise run on Bally, right? You remember the old the things I used to love on Fox Sports? They did the Driven series, and I was fairly young when those came out. I think there was one on Chipper, there was one on Tim Hudson, there was one on Bobby Cox, if I'm not mistaken. And they would air, sometimes they would air during rain delays, but they would also just air during the day. And those were so well produced, and because it was Fox Sports. But if the Braves can do something like that, I really think they'll be doing something really good. And just show off the team, show off the history, especially if it's a Braves network. You have all the resources in the world within your own organization. Use them, and I think it's going to be a really good thing. Jake Hobby says, everyone returning. Okay, they announced during the game today Wiley, Jeff Brandon, and CJ. Great. I figured as much. Who wouldn't pick that team up? That makes all the sense in the world, especially if the Braves are in control. Makes all the sense in the world. And plus, they pretty much run the operation as it is anyway. From where I've sat, from my perspective, they pretty much handle that internally anyway. Makes all the sense in the world. Oh, the battery, you're blowing me up. I love it. Battery says, I think we should get Paul Skeens. Well, I would love to get Paul Skeens. I would love to get pretty much any starting pitcher that can post up every fifth day and not get hurt. But, yeah, I'd love to get Paul Skeens, terrific player, and obviously it's going to be a treat to watch tomorrow. The battery says, we have such a rich history as the oldest continuously running professional franchise. They could create some fantastic original content. That's all I'm saying. If they want to ask me to do it, I'll be happy to do it. I think they really could. I mean, you could interview any of the guys from the 90s and make a documentary about them. I mean, there's 8 Hall of Famers on the 98 team alone. You could, obviously, you could do Chipper. You could do Bobby Cox. It's not too late to do that. Honestly, just stick a camera in front of Leo Mazzoni's face and he'll go for hours. Trust me on that. You have so many guys that are great speakers, and I really think it's a matter of time before we head that direction and they do start putting together some original content. I think that'll be a great thing for the platform. And again, media is changing. The way viewers look at media is changing dramatically. No longer is it that the networks decide what you watch. The networks are threatened right now because in a lot of ways there's too many options for the networks to be successful. Hence why Bally and FanDuel and Fox Sports and all of these have kind of moved to the wayside for streaming. And that's kind of the way of the future, at least it seems. And kind of happy that the Braves are one of the teams deciding to bypass, the networks and everything else and give us a front row seat essentially to the product. I think it's great, especially for the regular season. I mean, we should be able to watch every regular season game as a fan base and not have to worry about it, in my opinion. But obviously, something to be excited about. And of course, we'll have to watch how it goes. Guys, again, thank you for tuning in today. We really do appreciate it. You guys are always great and always tune in. Thanks for the comments. Keep them coming. Again, we are here at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Alabama, where they are hammering down high prices again this month. A giant inventory, over 500 new and used on the lot or on the way. Chevrolet and GMC truck and SUV headquarters, online 24/7 at glennsmith.com. That is glennsmith.com. Again, they are a terrific partner with us here at On Deck and have made our lives a lot easier over the years and supporting us. And again, smart people from all over the USA come to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. So make sure to check them out. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue to go through the comments and, of course, give you everything that you need to know about your Atlanta Braves. Stay with us. That's coming up next.
Big things are happening at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika.
Chevy Silverado and Traverse are ready for your driveway. Drive home today a full-size powerhouse Chevy Silverado with up to $13,000 off. Or get a loaded Traverse, the roomy Chevy SUV with third-row seating, and enjoy up to $6,500 off.
Buy today and you won't pay till May.
Smart people from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Online 24/7 at glennsmith.com.
Get ready to smile.
Big things are happening at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika.
Get massive savings on our entire lineup of GMC Sierras and the all-new, all-electric Sierra EV. Drive home a full-size GMC Sierra with over $14,250 off. Or go electric with up to $10,000 in savings on Sierra EV.
Buy today and you won't pay till May.
People from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Check us out 24/7 at glennsmith.com.
Get ready to smile.
Everybody, welcome back again. Thanks to Glenn Smith Chevrolet for sponsoring this live stream and so many others. And again, they are a great partner to us. Want to talk about a few things as we move forward. Of course, we just discussed Braves Vision and spring training. I did want to let you guys know I am headed to spring training next month. Headed down there on the 12th. I'll begin coverage for the TV station that I work with on the 13th. I'll be there through the 16th, and I'm going to get you guys some great coverage from there as much as I can. Hopefully I'll be able to get kind of a feel of where the team is and what the roster will look like, maybe even what the rotation will look like. That is my goal, and obviously we've covered spring training before, and I always really enjoy it. We get access that we otherwise wouldn't, and it's always a great thing for us to go down there and go to. Thankful for the opportunity, as always. Really love covering spring training. It's one of my favorite things to cover every year. You just get, it's a different feel down there. If you've never been as a fan, I'm talking about the access we get as media, but as a fan, you get a lot more access just in general. You can go to the backfields and see the prospects up close. You can see maybe even some guys working on some things up close back there, and it's a different feel than the regular season, right? You're not actively competing, so players are a little more generous with their time, and because they can be, and just it's a general better feel for a fan, if you're asking me. If you've never done it, I highly recommend it, and would recommend it to any baseball fan. Any good trade rumors? Good question. I wish I had something for you. I haven't heard anything of late. We discussed a few in the last live stream we did, so if you want to check that out, you can. I would really encourage you to do that. We went through a few guys that I thought that are still out there even, and like a Zach Littell, Lucas Giolito for the rotation. That is interesting to me. In terms of trades, I don't know. It's tough to go with a trade, right? Or to at least predict a trade, because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes with either team, who they may be looking to get rid of, that kind of thing. The only rumor, so to speak, that I've seen that has any real legs to me is the rumor that Sean Murphy could be traded for a starting pitcher. Who? I don't know. But I think it would take more than Murphy to get that done, because Murphy is coming off hip surgery, and he hasn't really been his best with the Braves over the past couple of years. It's kind of like trading damaged goods. And I like Sean Murphy. I believe Sean Murphy could be a very valuable catcher for us. But a lot of people have suggested this because you do have Drake Baldwin, who just came off Rookie of the Year, and the Braves did sign Jonah Heim, and they have Sandy Leon. You have a lot of depth at catcher, so basically fans are thinking, well, we have all this depth at catcher, which means we can afford to lose a Sean Murphy. And maybe that's true. Maybe. But even then, it's tough to say, okay, well, who can you get for Sean Murphy? Because if you're a team that is competing, number one, you got to wait for him to come back off of hip surgery. You don't know what he's going to be afterward. You don't know what the recovery process is going to be. And on top of that, other than 2023, he's had a rough couple of seasons with the Braves. So for me, it's a situation where I would love for us to go out and get a starting pitcher, but I think it would take more than Sean Murphy. I think you'd have to include a J.R. Ritchie or maybe even a Caminiti or something to make that enticing. And I just don't know that the Braves are there right now because as much depth as we don't have at starting pitcher, as unusual as that is for Atlanta, I don't want to lose any of the future pieces or possible future pieces. Though we've gone through a bunch over the years, I really believe those two specifically have a lot of promise. And even a guy like Owen Murphy, I don't want to lose an Owen Murphy. I want to hold on to those guys as much as I possibly can. Mass Boost says they can't even trade Ozuna or Iglesias during a year where they weren't making the playoffs. I think they could have with Iglesias. With Ozuna, I think they didn't want to trade him for bare bones. Should they have? That's debatable. I would agree with you on that they should have traded Ozuna. I expected it, and they just didn't do it. Is what it is. We didn't re-sign him, so that's even more of a question mark. I don't know what happened there. Obviously, it was a breakdown. I think sometimes, a lot of times teams know that, well, hey, look, you got to trade Ozuna, so we'll give you some cash considerations, or we'll give you, this guy who's never going to make it to the majors, in a trade. But I don't think the Braves are going for that. So it is what it is. With Iglesias, yeah, that's one where, they brought him, he's back this year, and he could pan out to be, a setup guy, and I believe he will be a setup guy. The Braves have said that they're going to share the role as closer. I think that will be temporary, and Suarez will eventually take that over as closer. I think that's a matter of time. We'll have to see how Iglesias looks in the seventh and eighth inning. And see where that goes. But, I mean, if your bullpen is followed up with eighth inning Raisel Iglesias and Suarez in the ninth, I mean, you're doing pretty solid. So I like the pen. The rotation is what concerns me. And I think it's what kind of concerns everybody right now. Jake Hobby says, hopefully Braves Vision will be on direct stream. Had to watch the game on MLB app. Gray is not a part of my TV package, I guess. That's tough. Yeah, I hope it's on. I'm sure they'll work on that. We'll have to see what happens there. Mass Boost, you're going to have to go into more detail. I'm not sure what you're asking with share ? The battery. Realistically, you don't get to trade who you want when you want. I agree with that. It's always a bad deal, and everyone knows you should make a bad deal. Yeah, and I mean the Braves just decided not to do it, which. Maybe they're playing the long game of, well, we're not going to show them that we're easy to negotiate with in a losing season, which there's something to be said for that. I don't really know. I will say that I fully expected them to trade Marcell Ozuna because I didn't think they'd re-sign him, and I'm glad that they didn't. I love Marcell Ozuna, what he brought to the Braves. I absolutely love it. He has his detractors. I've been a detractor. But as time has gone on, I have really become appreciative of what he did in a Braves uniform. That said, I was ready for him to go. It was time. It's nothing personal, no ill will or anything like that. It was time. The contract had expired, and that era, we're moving on from it, and it just didn't really fit anymore, especially if you consider the fact that Ronald Acuna may need to be the DH sooner rather than later. With the injuries that he's had and that kind of thing, it could make a lot of sense to make him the DH. I don't know when that'll happen. I don't think it'll be this season, but it could be next. if the Braves are to keep him, which that's been a hotly contested topic over the past few years. Will the Braves keep Ronald Acuna throughout his entire contract, or will they extend him, or will they trade him? That is one that I think is very interesting. Acuna clearly would like to stay. Would he like to stay at the same rate of what he was making? I highly doubt it. Will we re-sign him? I don't know. And will we trade him? Again, I don't know. You could trade him. You could make a fortune. Or you could build around him for the next 3 seasons and win the division the next 3 years and make a run for the World Series every year. It's interesting. To me, the Braves are saving for something. I don't know what that something is, but I gotta feel like they're waiting on something. And when that something happens, we'll know it. But they have not spent a ton of money, and I really thought they would. Obviously, they're spending money on sale today, and that's nice, but they haven't spent a ton of money. It's interesting. I really thought after the luxury tax moved on and we got out from underneath it, the Braves would go nuts a little. Nothing super crazy, but more than what they'd been doing, and so far that really hasn't been the case. We got some relievers and Suarez and that kind of thing, but they haven't really spent a ton of cash. The Battery says, I would be the worst general manager. Once you're a Brave, you're my guy. Bruce Sutter would still be under contract on my watch. Actually, he might be anyway. Here's the thing, right? It's funny you say that because I think a lot of times we take the human element out of these dealings. Marcell Ozuna is a real-life person. I've shaken his hand. I can vouch for that. So is Acuna. So is Olsen. They're all real people. So is Alex Anthopoulos. He's a real person. And, Ozuna, for all of what he brought to the Braves, good and bad, he was a good clubhouse guy. That has been universally stated, and I don't think we need to just act like that's not the case. And it's not fair to say, well, just get rid of him, just trade him, because we're not in that spot. You're saying that, once you're my guy, you're my guy. Well, Ozuna was a lot of people's guys in that clubhouse, and maybe the Braves just didn't want to ruffle any feathers. I mean, could we have gotten something? Sure. Should we have gotten something? Probably. But really, realistically, what could we have gotten? Other than some cash, maybe. That probably would have been spent on real estate anyway. I mean, what could we really have gotten? Not a ton. But it's funny because I'm saying this, you're saying this. Leo Mazzoni, he told me a while back, he's like, I just wanted to keep everybody. I liked everybody, and so I think that is a real thing. Could that cloud your vision as a businessman? Absolutely. Could it cloud your vision as a general manager? Absolutely. Do I think it did in this case? Maybe, but again, realistically, what could we have gotten for Marcell Ozuna? For the remainder of the year from Marcell Ozuna? Probably not a lot, if anything. They're basically taking a flyer. It's tough, right? So that is what it is. But again, guys, we are here at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Alabama. They have been a great partner with us over the years, and I really appreciate it if you would go give them just go check them out on glennsmith.com. They got new side-by-sides, new Chevy Silverados, and new GMC Sierras. Buy today and make no payments until May. Guys from all over the country come here to find deals, and they always do. Again, you will leave here with a smile. A huge used inventory as well, clean and late model trucks, SUVs, family vehicles, economy cars like Chevy, GMC, Ford, Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, and Kia. We are loaded up with fresh used inventory. So, again, if you have not checked out glennsmith.com, I'd really encourage you to do that. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up. So if you would, get your comments in. Let me know what you're thinking. If you have a trade proposal, if you have an idea for the Braves to go after, if you just want to say something about spring training or anything, the new Braves vision, whatever it may be, get your comments in, and we're, of course, going to respond to them. And then we're going to wrap it up here at On Deck. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be right back. When we get back, we're going to finish off with comments.
Big things are happening at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika.
Chevy Silverado and Traverse are ready for your driveway. Drive home today a full-size powerhouse Chevy Silverado with up to $13,000 off. Or get a loaded Traverse, the roomy Chevy SUV with third-row seating, and enjoy up to $6,500 $500 off.
Buy today and you won't pay till May.
Smart people from all over the USA buy from Glenn Smith Chevrolet.
Online 24/7 at glennsmith.com.
Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everybody. Again, we are here at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Alabama. They have been a great partner of ours and continue to be so through the year. Got a question from Battery. Speaking of the clubhouse, when is the last time the Braves had a captain? Do we have one now? I would say the last time we had a captain, so to speak, would probably be Freddie Freeman. That would probably be the guy. Now, I mean, you could argue Chris Sale. You could say maybe Austin Riley, Matt Olson. I don't know that they have a quote-unquote captain. They certainly don't have a formal one named. But they definitely have guys that have that quality and could be that. Maybe as they get a little older, Olson and Riley. Right now, I do think it's Chris Sale who has been notably able to speak his mind. We've heard that before, but all in all, in terms of a captain, I don't think there is a formal one. There won't be a formal one. To me, the captain is Walt Weiss. That's the captain. That's all you need. Jake Hobby, if anyone is interested in Tennessee sports, NASCAR, March Madness, Braves, we do lives over on CeeLo. Yeah, CeeLo, great partner of ours too. He's done a lot for us on the channel and does live streams of every game you can think of and every sport, it feels like, and great stuff over there with CeeLo. Always a fun time. If you ever struggle to get a game, obviously that shouldn't be a problem with Braves Vision around the corner, but if you ever struggle to get a game, go check out CeeLo's live streams. He basically takes you with a virtual set and goes through it. Really interesting, fun to watch, and great partner of ours as well. Guys, if there are no other comments, please do us a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We're going to keep you covered throughout Braves spring training. We will be there next month. That's your reminder, March 12th through 16th. We will be there. I'll try to bring you some coverage, maybe a live stream or two if I can from the hotel room, and just give you kind of my raw thoughts. Afterward, we'll, of course, have some live streams as well, maybe even here from the Glenn Smith Chevrolet showroom in Opelika. Thank you guys for joining. We really do appreciate it. One more time, want to say thank you to Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. They, again, have been great partners and just really helped us over the years in growing the channel and that kind of thing. And obviously, comments are terrific. We really appreciate those coming in. Thank you guys for the support, and thank Glenn Smith as well. The Battery comes in with a final comment. It says, last comment, great looking shirt. Thanks, my mom bought this for me, actually. Have a great week. You too, Battery, and everywhere else, everyone else in the chat, really do appreciate it. And we'll see you next time right here at On Deck. Thank you, guys.
Baseball fans, make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you for your support.